Hey guys, how's it going? Today I got Otis here on this beautiful rainy day, and I'm gonna take this time to go over Otis's e-collar video tutorial. All right. As you noticed, this past week and a half, he's been doing amazing. Been doing things he's probably never done before. Off leash, around dogs, no pulling, sitting, staying, laying down, all these great things, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you, this training has come with a lot of reps and doing the same thing over and over and over again, as well as using this collar to enforce positive obedience training, and then also being able to correct him in the time of being distracted. Now, it's very important. Before, when he came in with all that high energy, right, we harnessed that high energy and focused it into commands, teaching him how to hold his commands. The e-collar is very, very helpful in helping him calm down and lowering that idle. Just think, you would never drive your car if you didn't have your keys. You would never go on a hike without your boots. He should never really go on a walk or be outside and have that off-leash freedom without his training collar on. This is really going to hammer down his obedience, so it makes it a smooth, easy transition for you guys when you guys go home, and you guys are able to incorporate this training in your everyday life, okay? Now, as you can see, sometimes he likes to scratch the collar, right? If I ever see him scratch the collar, I will physically stop him, because I do not want him scratching the collar and dragging those prongs down his neck, also getting his prongs to the bottom of his neck where he doesn't feel the collar. His collar should be right behind his ear, his right ear or his left ear. If you put it behind his right ear, as it is right now, when you push the e-collar, you will see him turn right. You put it behind his left ear, when you push the e-collar, you will see his head turn to the left. All right, so in one short second, I'm gonna go over the e-collar, how to turn it off, and how we use it with the training. All right, stay tuned. Thank you. Wait. Hey guys, as I was talking about earlier, the e-collar placement is very important. Where we put it is going to really affect how he feels it and how he responds during the training. So as you can tell, he's got a normal black flat collar on with his dog tag. You can put his rabies tag on here. Anything to help get him back to you or identify him. Also, I have this Apple AirTag to help notify me if he ever leaves my house or my perimeter. So, when I put this e-collar on, I have an e-collar bungee here. I'm going to go ahead and slip this over his head, past his ears. Now, I want to go ahead and put that black flat collar above the e-collar. If I can, I'd like to have that black flat collar snug, but then also higher on his neck, okay? Now, when I secure this e-collar bungee down, it's really nice because I have this little elastic right here that makes it very easy to cinch down. And just like that, we have proper connection. Now this is behind his left ear, right? And it's just connecting right there where his muscle is. I don't want it where his, behind his neck on his spine, I don't want it on his throat right here either. I want it either behind his left ear or his right ear, okay? All right, guys. Okay, guys, I have the Mini Educator 300 here. This is good for half a mile range. It has different modes of tone, vibration, stimulation, momentary, and continuous. So I'm going to talk about when you first pull it out of the box, the stock setup here, and then this is the setup that I rock here as a trainer, okay? So first things first, we're gonna take our remote. We got a nice little remote here. It's got a charging port on the back that is waterproof if this is closed. This is our dial here. This will turn our power level up. And we have our on and off button right here. So I'm gonna take our on and off button. I'm gonna push and hold it. Boom, now we're turned on. 1D is flashing at the top. It says 0. And like I said earlier, this dial is our power indicator. It will go all the way up from 0 to 100. Wow, okay. That is a bad day if you're using it on 100. So momentary. This means when I push this black S button here, set up in momentary, you can see just 1 split second right here. This red button in momentary and continuous mode, the red button stands for continuous. Now I'm going to check back in with that later when I set this up. When it comes first in the box, you see MC. Like I said, momentary, continuous. I want to take this and set it up so it says C and C only. This is very important. A lot of times, this little button MC will get pushed in your pocket and it will cycle through the different modes, right? If I were to just push this one time and hold it, it would go into the M mode, stands for momentary. Now this black button will send an 8 for 1 second. This red button will send a +5 for 1 split second. Again, momentary. Now Otis was not trained in momentary mode. Otis was trained in continuous mode. So when I push and hold the button, it is continuously connecting to him until I release. This red button is just your +5 little emergency jump up. Okay? Now, our remote is turned on. Now it's time to turn on this collar, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is this red button, this little red dot on the side here, paired with this red dot right next to this screen here. If I push them together, a green light should turn on. Now this collar is not paired with this remote. I am pushing the T for test button, and you should see this red light connecting here, this red light connecting here. So I'm going to show you how to pair your collars. So go ahead and turn it off. Make sure your remote is on a 0. You're going to push and hold these together until that green light starts to blink. Blinking green light. I'm going to push the black button and then the red button. You heard a little sound. Boop, boop, boop. Test button. Now we're connected. This test button is the vibrate. If you can hear it, it's kind of like a pager. So the test is to only test to see if the collar is working without stimulating the dog. All right. Now we are 1D flashing. We are on a 0 and it says C for continuous. Now when we start using the e-collar, we turn this dial. We want to start maybe in between a 5 to an 8. Okay. Otis is a little sensitive, so we'll start at a 5. Now when using this collar, remember, as long as I'm pushing and holding this button, he is going to feel the stimulation. Now just to test it out on myself, a 5, I do not feel that. A 8, I do not feel that. A 12, starting to feel it a little bit. 14, okay, there we go. Now I feel that on a 14, okay? So in between a 12 to a 14 is where us humans feel it. Otis, when connected properly, he has felt it in between a 6 to a 7. Sometimes if there's a bigger distraction, that number will jump up a little bit because he's a little bit more eager to want to go towards that distraction. Okay? So when using the e-collar with the commands, this is where we get into the training mode. Now, I will always start on a number where I know he will feel it. So if it's a 5 or a 6, I will start at that number. When I say Otis, followed by whatever command I am giving him, let's say I say Otis, sit. I'm never going to push this button if I say Otis. I will repeat, I will never push this button and say his name at the same time. It will always be Otis, sit, as one free chance, and I will only repeat the command when using the collar. So, Otis, sit, not listening, sit, and I will push and hold this as long as Otis is not listening. If Otis does not feel this, after 3 to 5 seconds, I will let off, I will dial up increments of 3 to 5, and I will push and hold while saying the command at the same time. Sit. Boom. When he sits, good sit, good boy. You let off when Otis is sitting. Same thing for come. If I'm recalling Otis and let's say he is not listening, I will say, Otis, come. As one free chance, come, boop, when he is not listening. The second that Otis starts walking into me, I let go and I start to say words of encouragement, such as yes, okay, or go. Good, yes, okay, go, good, good, good. Now, when you are walking, when you are healing, if Otis is sniffing the ground and smelling everything, you will say heal and push this button at the same time. If Otis is pulling you or lunging at other things, you will not say Otis heal as a free chance. If Otis is lunging or pulling, you will immediately go into a correction by saying heal and pushing this button at the same time. Okay, a little bit more about the e-collar. As you can tell, this stock collar that comes with it is a belt loop style collar, which is definitely okay. You can see that these are half prong, half metal tips for the connection. For the prongs, if you look right here, I have something called an e-collar bungee, which slips over his head very nice and easily, as you saw, and it simply cinches down, so now it will never over tighten on the dog. Also, you can see that I have these stainless steel hypoallergenic prongs. This helps to make a great connection for the dog without allowing these numbers to get super high, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and the dog's not feeling it. You want the dog to be able to feel it on the lowest number and respond quickly. If I have to get up here and the dog is not feeling the collar, I will come to make sure that it's on and connected. Sometimes you can tell if they scratch a lot, then they will get that collar on their neck and these numbers are not as effective. So with this e-collar bungee, it prevents this collar from slipping all over the place because you can get a nice tight grip and prevent this from slipping. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching the e-collar tutorial. Please watch this in the future if you have any questions, and I am happy to answer any questions. One quick last thing. This is a very common thing that happens. Remember earlier I said this MC button will get stuck or pushed in your pocket? Another button that will get pushed in your pocket is this dial on top, and this 1D will stay solid. You will say to yourself, hey Chris, the number's stuck on a 4, I can't turn it. Well, go ahead and push and hold this dial down until that 1D starts to flash again. Now you're able to freely scroll through the numbers. All right, guys, sorry for the lengthy video, but I hope this is very helpful. Please take care, and I will see you guys shortly.